Hi viewers, this is 12 to 12. My name of course remains Justice, the guru at Tigogo. You're welcome, you're welcome, you're welcome. Every era has its own whiskey, whether you like it or not. Sometimes it become whiz man, whether you like it or not. In the 60s, Sonny Ade was a whiskey, you know. Was a guy. In the 70s, he was a whiskey. And when Nollywood involved, they came one whiskey, you know. Right now, when you see him, he has white beards all over. But there is whiz man all over him right now. You know why? That young man has evolved, churned out great movies, won global awards, all for Nollywood. Went into politics, got his hands pretty burned, but learned one thing, that you must give what you believe in. And right now, Aquila in Jama never left, but is back and stronger. You'll see him on 12 to 12. So whatever you're doing, just know that AQ is on set. Aziz Pashola, born 9th May 1994, a known professional as Naira Marley, is a Nigerian singer and songwriter. He's also known as the president of the controversial fan-base Marley. Naira Marley was born in Agidi, Lagos State, Nigeria. At the age of 11, he moved to Peckham, South London, England. He studied at Polar Hall before attending World's World School, where he obtained the General Certificate of Education. Naira Marley graduated with a distinction in business from Peckham Academy, and now is president of Mali.
I see 3 male, approximately 5'10". Suspect could be Naira Marley. Approach with caution. Suspect is on the run.
Pop up behind my back, pop up on back, I ain't gon' stop. Pop up behind my back. Pop up behind my back, pop up behind my back, and I ain't gon' stop. What to get in, you need listen. I'm on bail, I'm sorry, you need it. I'm on the run, no, catch me if you can. Jackpot, jackpot, no London. Jackpot, Jawo Canada. Jackpot, Jawo Chicago. Jackpot, Jalo Africa. Ẹ má pa náà fẹ́ kú ganja. Mo ń fa kése, mo fa kásá. Ọlọ́run má jà rọ́gùn cancer. Some questions they hear, them I have no answer. Some questions them I have no answer.
DJ T is a Nigerian music video recorder, film director, and filmmaker. Real name Adetokunbo Odubawo was born in Germany and had a stint in the military. Once the BBC cameraman, also worked AIT. His entry into the Nigerian music industry spiked the music video quality, and for a period, he was at the helm of most major production. Clarence Peters, a Nigerian music video director, filmmaker, and cinematographer, is the founder and CEO of Capital Dream Pictures, a production company that specializes in the realms of the performing arts, film, and video. He's also the founder and CEO of Capitol Hill Records, a record label home to Chidinma, The Suspect, and Hillblaze. Wow, yeah, when you're talking to an institution who started way back and became a kid before this whiskey now that is raining, you must know how prepared you are. Aquila, AQ for short. Nollywood, how's it been?
So to speak. The journey has been It's been a joy ride. We've had our ups and downs, but here we are. We are still here.
Yeah, I sang that song one time, started from the ground, now we're here.
Yeah, I'm not much of a rap person, but I remember that very
That
well.
means-
From the scratch, but yeah.
Yeah, because I look at you right now, you're a full-grown man. When you took over this industry, you were barely 20. Were you 27?
No, well, no, I wasn't 20. Well, when you use the word "took over,"
No, the whole idea is this. When you came, when you exploded on the scene,
okay, I was just 21 then.
you were 21,
I was 21 then.
.
Prior to that time, I'd actually been in the industry. I was among the first continuity personnel. Myself and Tony Wise were the
Yeah.
first continuity people in the industry. So we learned on the job. But my first movie as a director, as a producer, of course, I wrote the script. How it used to be back then. I was just 21 years old. It didn't take until like 2 years after before I could get it into the market. But starting up as a director, I was 21. Yeah, I was quite
You know
young.
how, at that time it was, when I sit back and I hear people trying to take titles that do not belong to them, I just smile because I have seen young people show people direction. And you did it at that time. You did it for a long time and you're still doing it. What kept you going?
I would say what kept me going, I would say it was the pressure. I think I worked better under pressure. It was the pressure of people not wanting to accept who I was, not just my age, but what I had to offer. We had folks then that were scared, like, if these young guys take over us, food no good there our table again, and these guys seem to be on that race, But it was just about me doing my own thing, daring to be different. I'm not going to mention names on air right now, but I remember one senior director then that never wanted to see me around him. He just kept feeling that anytime Aquila is around, it's like he wants to take my job from me, And I've always been, the school of thought of you must teach. Whatever you have, learn to share. Thank God for the internet right now where you have tutorials everywhere. So there's nothing like family secret when it comes to filmmaking anymore. Teach people because you never can tell where your children will want to start up their life from. They just might want to take after you. And when you keep hoarding these things just because you feel you want to be relevant by yourself, for yourself, with yourself, yet you want people to hire or employ you, and you think you have something you're not sharing with the next generation, you are making yourself an endangered species because you will fizzle out so fast. And with the trend of things right now, the internet, everywhere you go, tutorials here and there, people sharing experiences, I think we've gone past that stage of, So the journey has not really been, especially in recent times, if you know what I'm talking about, especially in recent times. But we are still advocating for the way forward. The industry is growing, and we have no excuse right now. There's no excuse for us to say we can't rival or we can't even get close to our foreign counterparts over there in Hollywood and its likes, because we have technology on our side right now. America is over 200 years old in the film business, yet here we are. Let's take away Herbert Ogunde's time in the 70s. Nollywood should be about 25 years old, thereabout, and yet here we are. I think we've done exceedingly well to get to where we are, but it can actually be better.
How many years have you been in the industry right now? Over 20 years?
Maybe you do the maths now.
Over 20 years.
Over 20
years. Over 20 years.
Professionally, I shot my first movie in 1996. I'm not a very good mathematician, but I think it's getting close to 20 years.
Yeah. Now, no, it's more than 20 now. 99 here is 20.
Yeah. See, maybe if I celebrated my 20 years in the business.
At that time, you were called Whiskey.
Oh.
Whiskey director. You had dreads. Aquila.
You want to hear
did
that
something.
You want to really hear that story?
I'm just remembering things you did.
But you've forgotten that we, prior to that,
don't include. You are the director, you are the guest here.
we go way back, Justice. Come on, we go way back
No,
in the 80s.
you.
Okay.
You are the guest.
Very
Yeah,
well.
I'm just remembering.
Okay, so I'll talk about myself, not you, Justice. But we go way back.
Aquila, what you did.
It's an idea,
Yes.
Jim.
No, I'm just remembering. Son of some people.
Please, let's clear the air.
Yeah.
You know, because I've always
Well, you
been
worked.
against.
You worked. That's
I've
what
always
I'm
been
talking about.
against
You worked.
people. What's that word I use now? Giving themselves, when you give yourself a name, self-acclaimed titles.
No. But I know, I know you're humble about your achievements.
I went on
I
air.
know you never walked
No.
carrying a chip on your shoulder. I know that, and I will tell the world freely.
Yes, thank you.
But
Thank you.
I'm just mesmerized by your achievement at that time, so young, not innocent. I don't want to use you as, there was no time you were
I'm not be
innocent.
two-faced.
But you kept on, directed some big movies. And if you check, which movie challenged you the most at that time, and even now? And you said almost made you cut your dada, which you have. Because eventually,
No, yeah, I didn't cut my dreads because of
no,
movie. I didn't cut my dreads because
didn't
of
ask you
politics.
that question either.
Okay, good.
I
But
didn't
you
ask-
say almost.
we'll get there.
You know, Justice, you have a way with words.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
I like to see every movie I do as challenging. When being contracted, I choose my scripts. You know, if I see that the script is not challenging enough, I don't do it. I just no law that says you must do every script that comes your way. Especially when you do your own movies. You know, I produce and I direct my own movies. I've slowed down on writing now because writing takes a lot of my time. I get lots of writer's break. You know. But let me go back. I think 1999 when I shot Borderline, it was one of the big movies as at that
20
time.
years ago.
Yeah, that was 20.
That's two generations right now.
Well,
You see, you can imagine who you are in this industry. Not arrogant, but work done. And that's what we try to do in 12 to 12. We are not carried or swayed by rave. No. For 12 to 12, character, work, pedigree, you know, and the ability to make people learn that this is the way. It's why we bring our guests on the show. For somebody like you who just sits down quietly and just talked about, you know, subtly about the movie done in 1999, 20 years ago.
you're actually bringing me back. You know, I've never taken my time to calculate these things.
20 years.
You know?
A child then is a
Grown adult.
adult.
You know,
Can vote
you're
and
making
be
me
voted
feel,
for.
You're making me feel old right now.
No, I'm not saying. I'm just telling you, work done. Work done. Go ahead.
Yeah, so Borderline then was, of course, video field. If it wasn't Aquila, it wasn't anybody. I had, you know, a couple of clients like that. There's executive producers that will say, if it's not this, if it's not here, if it's not Aquila doing it, no. It was quite big. I mean, I shot with a handful of stars. That was my first time I was shooting on multiple camera. I insisted because of the stunts and a couple of shots you can't take twice. For example, at the airport, we had to shoot with a plane that just landed and was going to take off. So I needed to shoot an arrival scene and a departure scene, and actually got burnt by the exhaust, the fume, you know, while trying to run to my my cinematographer. May he so rest in peace, Leslie Yao. He couldn't hear me because of the noise. So I was telling him it take two, but he thought I was talking about two shots. So trying to get across to him, I didn't realize that the engine was still running. So it took me off my feet, and I started smelling like goat meat. You know when you're
fire, really
yeah,
burn.
fire. You know, so we've had our hazards, you know, in the industry. That movie was pretty challenging, not just because I almost got burnt, but because I was shooting for the first time with two cameras. As young as I was then, it was like walking twice your speed. You know, I thought it was really easy when you do a two-camera shoot, but you know, most times you have assistant director, associate directors, and all that. That was challenging. Then the movie that got me my award in America, that was The Rivals. I shot that movie 2007 for then Blessing Effiong. I think she's Blessing Egbe right now.
Yeah.
The Rival
She's
was,
also a director now.
yeah, it's a good thing. We're having more colleagues. It was fantastic, you know. So when we did that movie, it was backdated to 1972. You know, working with people like Blessing, it's interesting. It's like a blessing, you know, because she's also a very thorough person, which is who Aquila and Jama is. If I have to shoot Justice on this set and I need a 12 to 12 Morg on this set, it has to be a 12 to 12 set. You can't give me a 10 to 12 and say, let's make do, let's manage. You know, so we got all the props, everything was, we did our research. It took us almost a month to get everything we needed, to the material, how they used to dress then, the hairstyle, and all that. So we entered it for New York Initiative Independent Film Festival. I wasn't expecting, you know, anything actually, but just the experience of being there that my film was submitted. I remember I was in Nigeria when she called me. She was in the States then. And where I was quite noisy. She said, good news, I'm going to read the New York Times for you. There's a write-up about your work. Our movie has been accepted and they have a full page about your creativity on the New York Times. So I went into my car and I listened to her read, you know, professionals talk about my work. First, I'd gotten a nomination. That was okay for me as at that time. Then I just saw tears rolling down my cheeks, you know. When the writer said it reminded him of coming to America, you know, I felt there was this fulfillment. I was okay with that, but I went ahead, you know, to win the best overall director globally. Now that was the first time the white, green flag was being flown on that site. There was another Yoruba guy's name, Olusegun something, but it was an American flag, apparently a nationalized person, you know. It was a beautiful moment. When they got the award, came back to the country, the rest is history. I don't want to go into some stories you're not like to hear.
The power of cool. Everybody love me when I do what I do. Cause when I come through, I got the power of cool.
Cadbury Hot Chocolate 3-in-1, a delicious combination of rich cocoa and wholesome goodness of milk. Just add hot water to get an instant chocolatey treat. Cadbury Hot Chocolate 3-in-1. Just add hot water.
Available in stores at 18 naira.
Son, being good at something requires strength. It requires putting in more. That's why the new improved Bonvita is packed with vitality and a richer, creamier taste.
Well, this, what's going on now, just what you've said now, it shows our story. But check what's going on now. We are trying to do, in terms of trying to be global, for me, which I think is just a deceit. The Indians are not trying to be global. No. The Chinese are not trying to. They are doing Chinese movies.
Telling your own story.
Stories. The Indians are doing. We want to do global stories. God have mercy. If politics is local, they say all politics are local. Then you say you want to be international filmmaker. Isn't that an aberration of what's going on with it? Because I look at these newbies. All they want to do, international standard. International standard. It's your story. Localize your story.
The question is, what is, in quote, international standard?
It's just a mirage.
You know, you have a two-faced Idibia as an artist here. The reason why we call him a local artist is because he's here with us.
Yeah.
We, a local. Local is not.
He's our local artist.
It's not a bad
It is Americans that will call him international because he's not there.
It's not there.
So the problem is us knowing what we want and how we want it.
We don't have, most times we don't get our priorities right. You know, and we need.
You're talking about the problems now facing us now.
The problems. One of the major problems we have is someone comes and sells this idea to us, and we just buy it without thinking or without doing the research. No, I'm not a local artist. Then what are you?
What are you?
what is Gary? What's Banga soup?
Exactly.
It's our local delicacy.
Yeah.
But if you were to sell that stuff in an Italian restaurant, it becomes an international.
National, yeah. No, we like pizza.
We like pizza. Okay, it's pizza. It's not our local.
God have mercy.
So that's how it is.
I think this creative industry right now, they all forget we are becoming too wannabes. You know, I had a guest, Teco Benton, I can mention his name, and he said something about accent. The Indians, they speak with the accent. The British, they speak with the accent. The Americans, they speak with the accent. Nigerians, we don't want to speak with an accent. So if I am speaking like a worry man now, I say shy, somebody's laughing, saying a local guy. How? God have mercy.
So let me help you. Let me help you there. You see, that is why the quote, in quotes, our international colleagues and counterparts, what they do, just because they know you may not have a clear understanding of what they say when they speak with their accent, they do what they call subtitle.
Yeah. We can do the same.
You know, now they got Forrest Whitaker to play Idi Amin in The Last King of Scotland.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they never get our accent right.
Oh, yeah.
Because we are diversified.
So now they create our own accent
for us. But then, when it comes to us,
we want to get the accent
we want to get the accent and sell back to them. And we never get it right.
How can you?
We never get it right.
Can't we just create our own?
Be who you are.
And again, I keep looking at what we are doing right now. I laugh. People think Nollywood is doing. I'm the school of thought that we are, with all the technologies involved, I'm of the school of thought that we are retrogressing. And I'll tell you why. With analog, we got, without internet, analog, we got the world talking about Nollywood. Without no digital, no 4K, 5K resolution, none of that, just analog, pneumatic editing. You were a master in that regard at that time. We got the world talking. Now we are doing technology, and we are doing clownish movies and screaming about box office. So what is going on? Is it this wannabe culture or the newbies? People like you are not affecting them rightly.
I think it will be, I'll say clearly, that a factor that is contributing to this is the influx of, in quotes, not professionals. People.
When you guys started, how many professionals were there really?
No, that was it.
But
like
you guys were ready to learn.
We were ready to learn. We were ready to learn.
And you are still learning.
We were, you know, like I was going to take you down memory lane of how technology has improved and also, like you said, affected us. Then, we had a passion for what we were doing.
Well.
We were passion-driven.
Yeah.
But right now, it's about capital base, finances. Let me just shoot this movie and get...
Box office
hits, whether it goes well or not. You know, you remember back then when we used to use pneumatic tapes? That was a 10-minute tape was as big as this, like a Bible.
Yeah.
Just 10 minutes. Now, as a continuity personnel, I was carrying bags because every 10 minutes is done. You have to mask, you have to do this. We now went to Betamax, which of course was, I think, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Then we now went down to mini DV. I'm talking about the evolution of technology. And now we're using cards of 16 gig that can give you a couple of hours.
Yeah.
Now it has made this generation lazy.
Yeah.
And it is showing in the output of what they produce, the resolution. Now, wanting to be the wannabe thing, okay, some people say sex sells, you know, nudity and all that.
Would you do that?
I wouldn't. If I have to, you see, the problem is not that I'm doing it because I'm going commercial. I just want to do something about nudity for it to sell. That's not the problem we have.
That is part of a script that is teaching something that you want the world.
If a king has to make love to an 18-year-old girl, and it's a story we all know, I will shoot something close to that. I will show you the innocence of the girl, and whatever cultural relevance it had to the story, I will have to bring it out through that scene. But I'm not just going to shoot a scene because I want a pool scene because I want to see girls naked all over. That has no relevance to the story. That adds nothing to the story other than just exhibiting the nudity.
AQ, how should Nigeria act? What do they expect to see from you shortly, recently? How? Because I'm sure they are waiting.
Okay, like right now I'm in the studio after like 7 years.
You went to politics. You wanted to become local government chairman.
Oh yes.
Of our great city, First Act Town.
Amod
inclusive.
Yes. Well, like I keep telling people, one of the worst things that can happen to you is when your child becomes of age and he asks you, Dad, when our country was sinking,
what did you do?
What did you do? You know, so it was me taking that bold step to say, I just didn't want to be a voice for myself, but I wanted to be a voice for the people, represent them. And I don't like to use that word change because it has been, if you know what I mean. So I'm looking at transformation, I'm not looking at change. Nobody wants to listen to you with change right now. Put that as a change in your pocket. So that was why I delved into it. But during that process, like I keep telling people, I never left. It's my passion, it's my forte, you know. But I needed to give one aspect, you know, of my life to something that was also meaningful. You know, so after 7 years, you know, precisely, I came back to do my next flick. I shot quite a bit of it last year, and I just rounded up this year. And right now I'm in the studio. So I think, like I said,
before the end of the year.
Before the end of the year, we're hitting the cinemas with it. Yeah. We're also taking it across shores, and I know a couple of my fans and my friends have been like, "Where have you been?"
You know, they can't call you Whiskey again.
No, they don't feel.
They are Whizman.
Well,
when you started, you were the Whiskey of Nollywood.
Well,
now you are the Whizman of Nollywood. On that note, we'll tell Aquila, thank you for coming on 12 to 12.
It's been a pleasure.
Great pleasure always having you.
Pleasure, brother.
My name remains Justice, the Guru at Tigogo. Oh, God bless you. Real good.